to this week's video blog. It's going to be a short one, and that's not because I've not got much to report, it's because I've got a large amount of things to do. This week's blog comes at the end of a 4-week period in which I have evaluated certain aspects of my life in regards to the 5-year plan. We are over halfway now, and we still have a number of aims and objectives that we have to reach, and so I've been examining things. The one that I've spoken about before a couple of weeks ago was the Project Springboard, and I've done my 4 weeks on that, and I found a way forward. And now we begin probably the application process should anything come up. I'm not rushing to get a new job or anything like that, because the job that I get next has to be a career starter. So I'm not going to be applying for all and everything. I don't have to worry with that sort of thing because I'm already in paid employment, full-time paid employment. So it's not it's not a luxury because I need more money as I expand in Markenfield for its upkeep. But that was always the plan. What it does mean is that I'm not like, it's not like I'm stuck living off benefits or scabbing off anybody. You know, for the moment we're okay, but we're making plans. That's the point. We're progressing. We've got to the stage where we've narrowed down what we want to do, and now it's a case of, you know, starting to move towards doing it. It's been a long process that began really at the start of this year, and we've done a lot towards it, and I'm quite happy as to where we stand on that at the moment. The other thing which I also brought up a couple of weeks ago was my lifestyle in terms of my health. This year's been a bad year for my health, and part of that is my own fault. You know, I just haven't looked after my teeth, and I think that's basically what this all boils down to. I may have told you that we changed our dentist, and that the new dentist we went to was so much better than ADP, and they did x-rays, and they think that there's a tooth, there's an actual tooth that is causing the neuralgia, which is good for me because it means if they remove the tooth, the neuralgia and all the pain with it will go away. So, you know, they're the only ones that actually showed initiative on this. The doctor didn't want to do scans. The former dentists, they didn't do x-rays or anything like that. They just said nothing was wrong, and the hospital with the tonsil wiped their hands clean. Oh, couldn't possibly be anything to do with the tonsil issue at all. So these dentists have done really, really well, and whilst I do have to pay for them to basically redo all the fillings that the ADP dentists did, plus a few more, and do this extraction, the whole thing, it comes to a rather reasonable price considering, so I'm not too bothered, not too worried about that. So we're making some changes from this next week in terms of our health, our general health, which will complement that and which hopefully will just make things a little bit easier. You know, I'm a little on the obese side, and I wasn't when I was younger. And so I know it's not sort of a genetic disposition that I'm just, you know, born fat, always were fat, always will be fat. No, it's not that at all. So we're making steps to change that. Now the steps that we're making are not anything like, oh, let's stop eating altogether and let's crash diet or anything like that. It's not a diet at all, and the reason for that is that diets, it's not that they don't work, it's that they only work while you're on them, and you're not supposed to be on them forever. So as soon as you come off, all the weight that you've taken off, you put back on. That's why people are forever dieting. what is the point? If I take the weight off, I don't want it to just naturally come back on. And the method around that is a very slow weight loss over, a year, 2 years, something like that. That's what I'm aiming for. This is not a short-term thing. This is a complete lifestyle change, which is going to go on ad infinitum. So that's really all I have to report. As sometimes happens when I make really big changes, where I'm having a sort of, not a revolution, not an internal revolution, but the things going on in my head, and I'm taking lifestyle changes very, very seriously. It'll often manifest itself in other ways. Curiously, it did so a number of years ago when we first launched the 5-year plan, and it affected me in Granville, and I remember completely changing the room around, bringing down all the wall hangings, just changing things, making things new, sort of wiping the slate. That's what I'm doing this week. Oops. Yeah, just then. That's what I'm doing. Apologies there. That's what I'm doing this week at Markenfield. I'm having a complete sort out. I'm going through absolutely everything. I'm going through drawers. I'm going through cupboards. I'm going through everything. I'm throwing out what I don't need, what I never use. I'm giving away what is okay, but I don't want. I'm washing everything from the fabrics to the fittings, everything. I'm just having a complete spring clean at the start of autumn. Why not? Only I could. So the extraction for the tooth is next week, at the end of next week, next Monday, this time next week. And after that, I hope, having sorted all this out, having made some changes, I know that there's going to be a fight on my hands to begin with, but there'll never be a perfect time, and it has to happen, and I've sort of spent the money on now getting that done. So it's time to regain some of the magic.